Y'all want to see something more dead than the Pirate 101 servers? This couch potato farm. I'm sorry, I forgot. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be going through the biggest mistakes that I made when playing Wizard 101 and things that I hope you guys don't make because, good lord, I regret it. Now, obviously, I've played this game for a long time, but I'm still learning new things. So hopefully this video can help new people, and also the people that are experienced can laugh at me. So let's go ahead and get into number one. So you guys probably saw it coming. The first mistake that I made was double schooling at a low level. Now, obviously, this is the bottom of the list because school weaving and all that crap changed everything at level 50, but if you are level 1, don't make the same mistake that I did and put all of your training points into each school, trying to become a master of the schools. You're not that protagonist, buddy, and it's not going to work out for you because you're going to be, what, level 35 with all rank 1 spells. It's not going to help you. Now, obviously, while I go through these mistakes that I made and terrible decisions that I had, I want to also offer some advice, and my biggest advice is, if you do want to go into a second school, it's okay, it's more accepted nowadays because, like I said, of school weaving, but make sure you don't go into 3 or 4 or 5 even at once, because you're going to waste all your training points that are extremely valuable, especially early game. If you want my biggest personal recommendation for an easier first 50 levels before you maybe buy them back if you're able to, I would go to Ice for the tower shield, I would maybe go Life for some heals, or I would go Death with some feints. There's not really a reason to go Fire, Storm, or Myth. I guess you could go Balance if you really wanted to, but that's just my personal advice. Obviously, at the end of the day, you play the game exactly how you want to, but let's go ahead and move into another mistake that I made, and this one is inexcusable. I don't know which character it is that I have it on, but I very much regret having the Whiptail Panera, or whatever it's called. Yeah, the Moonblade Pantara. Look at this, 6,500 crowns. That's like, what, $15 that you have to spend before you're able to get it? Don't spend $15 on a mount, unless you're doing the charity pride thing. That's a little bit different. See? This is okay, but don't, and I mean don't, spend a crap ton of money in the crown shop. That is this one just makes me so sad. I love King's Isle, I love Wizard 101, but I hate how greedy they make this game. Look, if you go in here and you buy almost anything, you are wasting your time. Let's go through them real fast. If you buy any of these packs, that's probably like the best move that you could make, but please don't because the chances are extremely low unless you want this chubby broccoli. We'll get back to the mounts in a second. Don't buy any of these pets because the pet kiosk exists. Don't buy any gold because getting 50,000 gold is super simple. You don't need to spend a little bit over $5 for 50k. That's nothing. You can't even hatch a pet. Elixirs are understandable, so we're going to move on from that for a little bit. Most of the crown shop gear is absolute crap unless you buy Heartsteel. Heartsteel's a little bit acceptable. It's only 260, which is what, like 50 cents? So that I personally recommend. All of this is crap. But now we got to also talk about the stuff that you can buy for gold. Now, if you don't see this little option down here, you probably don't want it. For example, if we go to the transformations, you can spend 75 crowns on a skeletal pirate transformation, or you could just spend 500 gold. And look at this. Now I saved what? 75. Oh wait, hang on. Let me get off my mount. I saved 75 crowns and now I'm a scary skeletal pirate. Boo! Shiver me timbers! I don't think Forest Fire wants to talk to me. But anyway, going back to this, the houses are another great example. This death house, that's what? 10,000 crowns? That's $20. You can buy for gold for 100,000. That's like farming half-fang bristlecone a few times at most. But don't get me started on rental mounts. I get it. If you really want a permanent mount, that's one thing. You know, it's cool, whatever. But if you go to a rental mount, look at these. $5 each for most of them, and they only last 7 days. That is so bad. And the worst part is, if you go to permanent mounts and you go to like very specific mounts, I think the Proud Lion is a good example. You can buy it for 90k gold. So why is there an option to spend $10 on it? I pray that none of you guys made the same mistake I did of buying mounts in the crown shop or buying various things in the crown shop that could be purchased for gold, because I didn't see that tab and I wasn't lucky. And I want to make sure you guys are. Okay, so this one's a little bit more subjective, but my next one is actually a Mirage because I hated Mirage when I first played it. I don't know if you guys saw my ranking, I must have the United States, what in the world, ranking the Wizard 101 Worlds video, but I had Mirage a little bit higher than obviously the awful ones, and that was because the first time I played it, I hated it. I thought everything looked very similar. I thought it just looked like a bunch of reused textures, and I wasn't very impressed. Then I replayed it, listened to the dialogue, and I loved it. That brings us to this entry. If you actually sit back and listen to the dialogue, you're gonna enjoy this game a hell of a lot more than if you just spam spacebar. Trust me on that. I was so intent on just wanting to get through the game and max my character the first time that I played on my death, the character that I'm on right now, that I didn't even know what happened in half of the game. Now, obviously one can make the argument that Arc 4 gets extremely complicated, which it does. I've talked about that many times though. But I found myself really enjoying the game, unlike my Myth, where I listen to the dialogue, or my Ice, where I do the same thing. And it's just my personal recommendation to you. Listen to it. Not everything's gonna be super interesting. Maybe skip the dialogue and Caramel, get out of there as fast as you can. That place is a waste of time. But everything else, Honestly, listen to it. I swear it's worth it. All right, so the next entry on this list talks about the UI. So I actually really like Wizard101's UI. There's a bunch of hotkeys, obviously. If you press P, it brings up the spell book. If you press I, it brings up ooh, pets. Bring up M, it's the map, so on and so forth. Learning these keybinds is nice, but that's not the entry for this video. There are 3 main things that I found in the UI that I wasn't aware of until way later, and some of them they didn't add until way later. First off, if you go to your crafting down here, you see all the recipes that you need. So if you're trying to find a specific thing to craft, or you already bought the recipe for what you're trying to craft, you can kind of see what you need to finish out the gear set. This makes it really useful, so you don't have to go back or write something down on your phone or take a screenshot or anything. It's right here in your backpack, which is nice. Additionally, if you're looking at your quests and say you have an accident, you didn't want to add this side quest, right, of defeating the skeletal pirates. I don't want to defeat my own kind. I can press this button up here to hide the quest, and now it's down in the hidden quest folder, meaning that it's not going to clog up more room on my main quest board. And I think the last thing that's pretty underutilized that I personally recommend that I didn't really know existed till today, because I just always skip right over it, is the help button. If you don't know anything about pet hatching, it kind of gives you a whole essay on how to pet hatch. I don't know, that's just something that I didn't really realize was there, but I really recommend using the UI because, my god, there's a lot of helpful things in your backpack. Oh, goodbye, Bella Knight, whoever that is. All right, so we're going to do the last 2 entries together just because, honestly, there's no reason to really separate them because they're pretty similar. The first one that we're going to talk about is don't spend forever farming bosses when you have an upgrade later. I talked about it in ranking like the dungeons on how good they are for the gear should you actually farm them, but if you guys didn't see that video, basically all I said was, I don't recommend farming Zeus over and over 35 freaking times, because if you do, you're gonna have a better upgrade only 30 levels later, and you can make it easily with Bazaar gear. Same thing goes with Darkmoor gear to Dragoon. You don't need Dragoon, you're just gonna get better gear on the Bazaar. I've spent so much time of my life farming for these bosses and farming for these things that I didn't even end up needing. So my personal recommendation to you is just don't farm all that crap. Save your time, go get something in the Bazaar, you'll be fine. Unless it's Waterworks or Darkmoor, those are like the best of the best. All right, and the very last thing that I recommend you do as a big old Wizard101 player is the side content. Okay, now, obviously side quests they stop giving XP in Mirage. However, it is a great thing to do side content. Colossus Boulevard gives you an extra few levels when you start out in the game. If you do Grizzleheim and then Wintertusk, you're gonna get a crap ton of levels plus 2 new spells, and you're gonna get so much from Wisteria too. Not as much, but you're gonna at least have fun. It's a pretty cool storyline. It's pretty short, I guess. Anyway, if you don't do those areas, you're not really gonna enjoy it as much. And I recommend doing some side content. Like, what do you need, girl?
Stinkweed.
Oh, no, thank you. I don't smoke weed. I said no, ma'am. And it's like, honestly, if you avoid these quests, I feel like you're just missing part of the game. And I know I always skipped them. So I've kind of enjoyed going back and doing them. Obviously, I look like I'm not preaching my own gospel because I have a side quest that I've not done with Mindy right here. But I recommend doing the majority of them. Just enjoy the game for what it is. That's my biggest piece of recommendation to y'all. Enjoy Wizard101 because there's so much content, and I feel like a lot of the time it gets skipped over, and you just try to jump through everything. But honestly, that's going to take it from me. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys mean the absolute world to me. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. You guys are great. See you guys next time. Good.